What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on this channel, and it's been such a long time since I've made a video, talked to you guys in front of the camera. So I figured on such a gorgeous day, we had to go out for a walk, get some outdoor time, bring the camera along with me, and talk about some hands and make a video for you guys. It's been so long. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy during this quarantine. It's absolutely crazy what's going on right now, and hopefully we can return to a normal life or somewhat normal life in the upcoming future. First off, here's a quick shout out to Ben Deach for giving me the idea of making this video. He's a poker vlogger out in Vegas, and he's actually doing something similar on his channel, talking about the 5 most memorable hands in his entire career. And for me, figured I'd do something a little bit similar as well, talking about the 5 most memorable hands of my shortened career of only playing for about a year and a half. So figured I could make this into one little video. But if you want to check out his channel, it's Ben Deach Poker Vlog. You guys can definitely check that out. So the first hand that we're going to talk about here kind of taught me the lesson to not play bigger than your bankroll is, or bigger than you're comfortable with. Learned this lesson here for sure, as this happened during my trip to Macau. This happened in my vlog in Macau. I was on a vacation trip to Asia and figured I would make a pit stop in Macau for a day to check out the poker action, check out the scenery, and make a vlog for you guys, do something different on the channel. And this is back when I played 2-5, maybe like 3 or 4 times in my entire life. And little did I know, when I got into the poker room in Macau, the lowest stakes that they offer is 5,100 Hong Kong dollars. As an equivalent, using an 8-to-1 ratio, the smallest game they offered was a 6-12 game, and it's a deep 6-12 game at that. So little did I know, I was really not prepared to put my entire bankroll on the table, since I was really just playing 1-2 and grinding 1-2 at the time. But here we are, putting basically my entire bankroll on the table for a vlog, and let's get into the hand. So obviously, playing a much bigger game than I'm comfortable with and more that I'm rolled for, I put down the $2,500 I had available to play poker with, basically my entire bankroll on the table, and let's get into it. So starting with this specific hand, I have 17,000 Hong Kong dollars in front of me, and you can use the 8-to-1 conversion rate if you want, but we'll be talking about the action in Hong Kong dollars, since that makes sense. Here in the big blind with Ace King of Clubs. There's a crazy guy maniac on this table here who just tried to triple barrel with Queen 4 of spades. All 3 streets. He raised pre-flop as well, so obviously he is a little loose and a guy that we kind of want to mix it up with. So in this hand, this specific guy opens up the action to 300. The button decides to make the call for 300, and here with the premium hand obviously going to be 3-betting, I decided on a sizing of 1,500. Only the pre-flop raiser, the maniac, decides to make the call. So we're going to a flop heads up against this maniac who has basically a very wide uncapped range. So when the flop comes ace, queen, queen, 2 hearts, I'm out of position, and I actually decided to check. I'm okay with that. I can check for deception sometimes, especially trap against a very aggressive and wide loose player, but the trap doesn't work as he decides to just check it back. So we're going to a turn heads up. The turn comes the 7 of diamonds. The heart draw bricks out, and here it's a mandatory delayed c-bet. I should go for a larger sizing, but I decided on a sizing of only 1,200, a very pussy-like bet with that. Basically, he's going to call with any 2 cards, it seems like. So that's what he does. He decides to make the call for 1,200, and we're going to a river. The river is the deuce of diamonds, basically a complete brick. And now at this point, playing a bit bigger, my line is just so weird. I decided to check once again. I didn't think that if I could bet for value, I'd get called. I don't know what I'm thinking here, but I decided to check, basically inducing him to bluff at it. And he does by electing to go all in. A massive overbet jam of 11,500 Hong Kong dollars, and I'm sitting here with a decision to make. This is exactly what I asked for, taking this line with Ace King, basically at the top of my range here, and against a player that has a super wide range that can hold any 2. This could very easily just be a bluff, and well, I thought about it, and I ended up folding. Basically, because if I called and I was wrong, that was basically the whole session. I only was playing for about 30 minutes at that time. So still to this day, it's a really gross fold. I mean, he made the bluff and the bet that I wanted him to make, that I tried to induce him. And at the top of my range, I've got to call that a lot of the time, even if I'm wrong. Just one of those issues where if I'm wrong, then basically I lost like my whole poker bankroll and I was done playing for that day because I wouldn't have been left with too much money, and there's no point in playing a 6-12 game with like a couple $100 in front of you. So there's that very unfortunate fold there for us. I mean, I should have just closed my eyes, tossed in the call, and probably would have made a whole lot more that day, but still regret it. But that's one of the most memorable hands I've played so far. I've got to say, from this spot here sitting on this bench, these flowers look beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's a beautiful spring day, honestly. The second hand that we're going to talk about in this video, a lot of you guys already know about this, but we've got to revisit this. This wouldn't be the top 5 most memorable hands without this specific one. And this is when I played 5-10 at Twin River, playing my actual first official 5-10 session after I hit my 10K bankroll challenge. So let's talk about it. It's painful, but it's the biggest pot we've ever played in our life. We have King Queen of clubs in the cutoff with about 1,200 in our stack. The under the gun player opens up the action to $40, and we get a couple callers to me, and I decided to just call here. Facing an under the gun raise with King Queen suited, I'm in position. It's a fine hand to take multi-way, I guess, but definitely could be 3-betting if it was a 1-3 or 2-5 game, but decided to just flat, and we're going to a flop 6 freaking ways. 6 ways to a flop, and the flop comes King Jack 10, 2 clubs out there. Yes, we flop top pair and an open-ended royal/straight flush draw. So obviously, it's an ideal flop for us. Action actually ends up checking all the way to the hijack player, who throws out a bet of $50. I don't know what you're doing betting $50 into this pot, but definitely going to be raising it up, and I immediately raise to $200 here. Action's onto the small blind, who calls my $200 raise, which is interesting. And then next to act is the under the gun pre-flop raiser, who puts in the good old 4-bet of all in. He covers everyone on the table. He has about like $2,000 in front of him, and he rips it all in. And what are we gonna do here? Here, facing a jam for my entire stack with this strong of a holding, we're all in as well. It was an easy snap call decision by me here. Just never gonna be folding. A royal draw, straight flush draw, everything draw, my goodness. So I snap call, and the small blind who called my $200 raise tanks. He tanked for about 2 to 3 minutes here. It was a fairly long tank, obviously. And honestly, it didn't matter to me if he was going to call or not. If he called, then the pot would have ballooned up to about $5,000 because he had about $1,500 in his stack. So he does tank and ultimately does decide to put in the call. We flip over our cards for this massive pot. We can only run it once because it's Twin River Casino and, you know, they're trash. The small blind turns over pocket 10s for bottom set, and the under the gun player turns over ace-9 of clubs for double blocking our straight flush and royal draws. So we are just drawing very, very slim. The turn brings immediate help, which is the 8 of clubs to the under the gun player, and we are drawing totally dead. And the river is the 9 of hearts, so we get there both ways with the flush and straight, but we lose a massive pot. We get stacked, and this is the biggest pot I've ever played in my life in a 5K pot. Third memorable hand to discuss here. We are playing 1-3 at Encore, so this is fairly recent. We pick up pocket kings under the gun, and we're sitting with a massive stack at 1-3 of about $1,250. So we open to $15 here with pocket kings. The middle position player makes the call, and also a large stack on the button decides to call as well, and he covers us. So we might get into a big one here against this player. The flop 3 ways is beautiful. It is ace, king, 6, 2 clubs out there. So flopping middle set with pocket kings on an ace high board, obviously a very ideal situation. So we see bet $25. The middle position player folds, and the button with the very large stack decides to raise us. He raises us to $85 here, and this could be brewing for a large one. Actually, onto me here, out of position with middle set. Definitely going to be putting in the 3-bet. We want to take control of the pot. We want to build the pot here if he's drawing. So I go for a sizing of $275. He doesn't think too long before announcing the 2 beautiful words, all in. I snap call. We've built a massive pot right off the bats, and we're thinking we're probably up against like pocket sixes, bottom set, I would think, and it seems like a cooler spot here. So we're off to a run out, which comes the 4 of diamonds and the 9 of clubs. Of course, the clubs get there, but we're good. And he flips over ace king for top 2. What a cooler. We take down a massive pot playing 1-3 at Encore. So finally, we add some good news in this video here. Next, after that, this one was super fun. This was very late into one random session playing 1-3 at Encore once again. So here, I have 4-5 of clubs in the big blind. I've been playing for a long time, and I'm a little tilted. So the action goes under the gun, raise to $12. We have 6 callers here. What is going on? We're playing on a 9-handed table as well. So 7 people interested in this pot, and I could easily just put in an extra $9 to see a flop multi-way, but so much dead money in there, I'm tilted. Let's try to 3-bet this one to a sizing of $85. I try to make the squeeze, and it immediately backfires because the under the gun player 4-bets to $235. Quite the mistake for us here, and when it folds all the way back to me, if I make the call, like, I only have about $200-ish behind. So am I really gonna put in half of my stack and just flat this 4-bet? Yeah, you're damn right I am, because I'm tilted. And I made the call with 4 or 5 of clubs. We're playing a 4-bet pot, and the flop comes 2, 3, 6, 2 hearts. Just what I planned, flopping the absolute nuts in a 4-bet pot with 4 or 5 of clubs. So yeah, that happens. I check, he rips it all in, and obviously I decide to make the call. I flip my cards over, obviously, feeling a little dirty about it, but also a little proud of my absolute fishiness. So the run out comes the 9 of hearts and a queen. The heart draw does get there, but no worries. He only has top set pocket queens, and we crack those with our 4-5 suited in a 4-bet pot. You just got to appreciate the beautiful flowers here. I mean, pink's just a really pretty color. Oh my goodness. So to close out the top 5, this wouldn't be a proper top 5 most memorable hands video if I didn't mention something from good old MGM Springfield. There's a ton of hands I'm sure I could talk about, but this one kind of sums up how crazy the action could be here. And I don't know, I just thought this one was super fun to talk about, and I figured I'd at least share it here. So let's get into it. So we're playing MGM 1-2. It's a late night session, and everyone's sitting very, very deep. And we have one specific, I guess, VIP player from this establishment who's on my table, and he's on my direct right. So in this hand here, we're playing short-handed. I'm in under the gun +2 position with pocket 4s, and the player to my right decides to blind raise to $75. Typical thing that he does late at night. It's a good time, great for action. So here, pocket 4s against the blind open. We're gonna 3-bet this all the time to $225, trying to isolate because I know he's gonna call 100% of the time without even looking at his cards. So it folds all the way back to him, and that's exactly what he does. He calls without even looking at his cards. So we're going to a flop, which comes 8, deuce, 3, rainbow. Really not the worst board for pocket 4s here. So when he checks to me, he actually tells me that he has a pair. So I've got a decision to make. I know he's not lying when he tells me that he has a pair, and basically I beat 2 out of the 3 pairs that he possibly could have. So, I mean, with a decision to make here, do I just rip it all in? Because he only has $350 behind, and I know he's gonna call. So basically, I'm kind of forced to go all in here for value. If he has an 8, so be it. We're gonna lose a huge pot. So after just thinking about it for a little bit, obviously I'm gonna rip it all in for $350 total. He decides to make the call. The run out, I don't really know. I don't think it really changes much. It was 2 random overcards that he didn't have. And I show my pocket 4s. He shows a deuce. He mucks the other cards, and we take that one down. So we win a really monster pot. Just one of those crazy hands that you can run into at MGM Springfield. The action there is always great. So I don't know, that one I just thought was really fun, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I really love talking to you guys. If you guys really like this, I might do this again, so let me know in the comments below if you made it this far. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. I have all my hands documented, so I can just kind of go through all the craziness and see what else I can find in there. But these were the top 5 5 most memorable hands. Maybe I can go over the top 5 most painful hands, the top 5 most whatever hands that you guys want to watch. I just want to make more videos for you guys, and it's pretty hard here since all the casinos are kind of stuck. But hopefully we can get back to normal soon, and hopefully, once again, hope everyone's staying safe and healthy during this time. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.